Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Award Buds podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to continue breaking down Vegas's odds for the upcoming Oscars. This time, we're going to talk about the Best Actor race. The Academy Awards nominations are being announced on January the 17th. And then, of course, voting is beginning on December 9th with it closing on December 13th. That being said, we are seeing a jockeying for position, but we have a current frontrunner in the Best Actor race. That being said, before we dive in, thank you guys so much for the continued support of the Awards Bud podcast right here on the Drive-In Podcast Network. If you could do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Who you think is going to win the Best Actor and who you think is going to be the 5 that gets nominated. Folks, if you have not checked out already, I do have the Best Supporting Actress and Best Supporting Actor up already right here on the YouTube that you can check out. I will be continuously doing this throughout the season, and there's a purpose behind talking about it now, because as the race continues to come to fruition, the odds for certain people start to go down and down and down, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're like, Ricky, what are you talking about? This is my first show. I don't know what odds mean, and let's break it down to you guys, okay? So we have a Vegas betting calculator here. Okay, so we're going to talk about this in $10 increments. So if you bet $10 and the odds are plus 100, you're going to win another $10. So you win $20 total. Okay, perfect. Now, if the odds are a little bit bigger, let's just say last week we were talking about betting on Denzel Washington to win Best Supporting Actor. His odds were plus 400. His 4-to-1 odds there implied that if you bet $10, you win 40. So you're taking home your 40 and your original 10 at $50 a piece. However, when things start to become more, you can start to get more of a favorite in the race, odds start to be the negative side of things. So if you're plus 120, you bet $10, you're winning $8.33. If it starts going up, you bet $10 at minus 150, you only get $6.67. Now, if you bet on Christopher Nolan the night before the Academy Awards to win Best Director for Oppenheimer, he was plus 2,000. Minus 2,000 to win, meaning if you bet $10, you won 50 cents. So, that being said, we're going to dive into Best Actor race. Now that we got the calculator locked and loaded, let's talk about our nominees currently. Now, our current favorite. Now, we saw last week, in the last 2 weeks, we got plus favorites in supporting actress. Now, it was a little bit higher with the plus 140s, a little bit lower. That means the favorites are coming down a little bit there. Now, for the best supporting actor, plus 300, you're on the high end. So there's not really a clear-cut favorite in that race. And then as of right now, for the best actor race, you're looking at Adrien Brody, okay, at minus, yeah, you heard that, folks, minus 110, which means he is a favorite right now over Coleman Domingo. Now, minus 110, we're going to put that in the calculator, okay? And we're going to do this because there's still money to be had if you think Adrien Brody is going to take home his second Academy Award, okay? So if you bet $10 right now on Adrien Brody to win the Academy Award, you're going to win $9.09. So you're going to take home your $19.09. So there's still money. In a 2-week time, when the awards start to come out and nominations start to come out and you start to hear people's names and then wins start to happen, he could go from minus 110 to minus 250. And we talked about, what does minus 250 look like? If you bet $10, you only win at $4 now, right? We're not winning as much. So if you feel confident today that you think Adrien Brody is going to take home the Academy Award, he's only currently sitting at minus 110. So money is to be made. Now, next to him, who are some of the other favorites? Now, remember we talked about, the closer you are to that minus, the better off you are. So we currently are looking at 3 guys that are in serious contention, according to Vegas, to win the Academy Award. Brody, front runner. Who's behind him? Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. Obviously, coming off last year's Academy Award nomination, Coleman Domingo is back in the conversation here for Sing Sing, right? We saw some jockeying here with a lot of people talking about, man, our A24 fumbling the bag by dropping the release because it's premiered last year at TIFF. It came out in August of this year, and now they're starting to put some money behind Sing Sing, trying to bolster the conversation around Coleman Domingo, obviously coming off that performance of Rustin last year. But that being said, Coleman Domingo, a lock for a nomination right now. I don't know if I feel comfortable enough to bet him even at plus 250 to win. Yes, you're getting decent odds. I just don't foresee him being that guy. Now, talking about a guy that I believe has a chance to win to potentially unseat Adrian Brody is Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. Ralph is plus 350 right now. So we're going to throw him in the calculator, right? Let's throw Ralph in the calculator here. Plus 350. So if you bet Ralph and you believe that Conclave is that movie that could unseat Honora for Best Picture, that could be in the conversation for director, it could be in the conversation for screenplay, and so many other different things, then you think that Ralph is going to win. Yeah, plus 50, we're making $35 off $10. That to me is one of the surest bets I think that you could have currently right now. Because if Adrian Brody is that lock-in favorite, okay, if he's that guy, okay, let's just say you're confident in Brody, but you want to throw a little spoiler to there, okay? You could break almost even if you just bet $10 on Ralph and $10 on Adrian Brody. You're going to bring home $19 if Brody wins, but if you're and you bet 20, so you're losing $1 there. But if you bet both of them at $20, and you can take home 35. We're going to take home a little bit of money. So again, you want to sprinkle your money. You want to sprinkle it in a couple different areas of potential. To me, Ralph is a very nice bet at plus 350. Timothy Chalamet is somebody that maybe 2 weeks ago was in a conversation to potentially win the Academy Award for A Complete Unknown. But the conversation has shifted. The first nominees came out, and it was like, or the first reactions to A Complete Unknown came out. Oh man, it's the best performance of the year, yada yada yada. And then slowly but surely, I'm seeing more and more people see this film, and people starting to doubt whether or not it's going to be in that conversation for even for to be in the winning conversation. So plus 700, Vegas feels the same way right now. Now, plus 700, plus 800, Daniel Craig for Queer. Another film that's interesting, A24 is driving this one as well. So they have The Brutalist, Sing Sing, and Queer all in the conversation here. One of the things that I do find interesting is the fifth slot for maybe fourth and fifth. If you're not so confident in Timothy Chalamet, it's late in the game, he might get that nomination. But for me, it's kind of weird where we go from here. Because, Daniel Craig, the film is okay, in my opinion. It could still get some love across the board. But then if you look beyond that, okay, Paul Mescal, Gladiator 2, just not really confident in that one. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice, he's playing Donald Trump. Do they want to reward somebody playing Donald Trump, or are they just going to throw this film to the wayside? Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, that's not happening. Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, don't even know why it's on this list. Now, this is one where I think could be nominated. Now, if we could bet on nominees, I'd throw some money on Jesse Eisenberg. Now, I don't think you're not throwing money on him to win at plus 2,500. Not happening. Not happening in a million years. However, it would be cool. I think he is of the bottom tier of Paul, Sebastian, Joaquin, Jesse, and even Barry. I think he's got like the best shot of being that fifth slot over anybody here. Now, we're not betting for him to win, but yeah, this outside of those top three, I don't feel confident in betting on anything at all when it comes to Best Actor. This is one of the weirdest races we have. I think Brody's going to continuously run away with a lot of different awards across the board, and maybe Coleman might steal a few with Ralph hanging around. But because of that, I see Adrian Brody running away. And because of that, I think that's what you got to bet on. So for the Best Actor race, currently odds are, and where I think you could potentially make money are right now, Adrian Brody for The Brutals at minus 110, Coleman Domingo plus 250 for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave at plus 350, Timothy Chalamet plus 700 at Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer at plus 800. So that being said, where do I think you can make money? If you've been listening, Adrian Brody, the Brutalist, as it sits right now, minus 110 is probably the best odds you're going to get on him. Lock it in. Submit the bet, run away, head over to bovado.lv, lock in this bet right now, because this is your best opportunity and maybe only opportunity to get his odds this low. And of course, Ralph finds for Conclave is my other bet that I like here for plus 350. I would definitely sprinkle some money on Ralph just because you want to have some backup in case for some reason Adrian Brody doesn't run away with this. I do have more confidence in Ralph over Coleman. And folks, that is it for this episode of the Awards Buzz podcast, where I am breaking down the Oscar betting odds from Vegas on the Academy Awards. Folks, next up will be Best Actress, where we have a favorite there, but also an interesting race unfolding. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.